Hello, Kaz. Hello, Glynis. Hello, Trip. Got another tune coming for you right now as we wind into Sunday Night with Tea live on YouTube. All right. How are we doing? 6 people. Yeah, we've had a little bit of a boost in. I don't know what's going on, Trip, but anyway, we're always grateful for subscribers. Jasper's here. Where are those gusset girls? Where are they? Howdy, Jasper. Good to see you. 8 people watching now. Don't be shy. Say hello, everybody. We've got Kaz, we've got Glynis, and some silent viewers, it would seem. So, is it 9 o'clock yet? Almost. Before we get some tunes to get us into the groove this Tuesday night, trying to get back into a little bit of rhythm, of regularity. Well. My sunshine just arrived. What's up, Sugar Tits? Good to see you, Almal. You don't know how much you just made me smile, Almal. Almost brought a tear to my eye. I don't know, but glad to see you, darling. We always love to see Almal and that. We love to see everybody, really. There's nobody we don't like to see here at the thrift store. I think this is a very bad version of Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club. Here, Almal, yeah, you see how much joy you brought, Almal. Let's get rid of those tunes. We don't need those anymore. It is 9 p.m. Pretty much. We're a few seconds short. Who's gonna climb over that? Wait, oh my word, let me try and hook Baby P up. She's having difficulties with the links. Sorry guys, let me just do that. There we go. Alrighty, welcome. Hopefully we can get Baby P in the chat. Maybe she will join us. Who knows? But anyway, welcome one and more. Oh, had to send mum, like when you say send her away, I'm kind of guessing you sent her to heaven, maybe. I don't know. Sorry to hear that. If that is the case, we certainly don't like to hear of any tragedies or losses of life. I'm there. Becky is here. Becky. Folks, and it is 9 p.m. It is Sunday, the something or other of July. What date is it? The 20th? The 19th? 10 days from my birthday, people. Just thought I'd drop that out. A little reminder to you all that TSP is a Leo, and his birthday is coming up on the 29th of this month. Okay, Houston. Some might consider Houston is heaven. Just, goodness, don't want to be bringing everybody down with deaths and things, so I'm kind of glad that she's gone back to Houston and not heaven. And Almal's mum's still around now. Maybe Hoopties might sloop in at the moment. Who else are we missing? Alias sings a lot. Let's try and summon the fam guys. We've been there before. We've had a few kind of like low viewing figures on some of these live shows. It's kind of made me a little bit reluctant to do them. There she is, Nancy. Mine's the 31st. My goodness, look at us, Leo's together. Nancy. Trip's the 27th. So we've got some good Leo power in the house. Not that I'm really that adverse or knowledgeable in such things as the zodiac and star signs and stuff, but I know some people, mostly chicks are usually into that kind of stuff, not so much guys. But anyway, Kaz, Becky, Almal, say the word. Killer Kyle, come on, let's get them. Let's put out our collective conscious, guys. We used to have the power to be able to manipulate and manifest our fellow community members here at the thrift store. It's been a long time since we've all been here in the house together, kicking it. I just realized this little turd I made, it kind of looks a little bit like a shit dick cult sculptor. I might even save that for Maddie, because she does like cock. I almost immediately said, realised what I said then. Maybe not in that sense, but she likes the word cock. It's a funny word. But I just noticed that does look a little bit like a cock and balls. Come on, Kyle. Wasn't Tesla a Leo? I'm not too sure. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. Maybe you've noticed I did put a video out earlier today. We did a little bit of a trying to get back into the swing of things. I've been repeating myself a little bit in some of these live shows in the past month or so. I've been a little bit hit and miss. I don't know what's sort of been going on. There's been like, my mind has been clouded or something. I just haven't felt productive, haven't sort of been able to, even though I've kind of set up my studio, I've got all my nice new equipment now. I've got a computer courtesy of Killer Kyle, got the new Thrift Phone 2 courtesy of Baby P, then managed to get myself another second phone. So we've got more equipment than we ever have had before at TSP TV. I'm going to give you a little... I can't stay too long. No cooking pizza. Stay as long as you can, Elmel. So there's our computer. There's me on the the screen. There are your chats, so I can watch on there. This is the backup phone. There's my shiny bald head. Look at that. That's pretty cool. And there in the background is the TV. Let me just step up a little while, and we can do a full 360. There's my sleeping area over there, and behind us there is the kind of thrift store backdrop I've been using a little bit. It's Hoopty's box. Some of the little gifts that some of you have sent. There's a fan from Glynis, a fan from... Who was that one from? That was from Hoopty's, bless her. So, you know, some of the little things that you guys have sent to me have become part and parcel of the fixtures here, but that's what our new studio is looking at. You know, we can maybe at some point turn it around like this, get the computer screen, put some stuff up onto the, you know, maybe cast some things of interest to the TV screen that we can look at. Maybe it's sometime in the future. I'll figure out how to maybe broadcast using OBS on the computer. We're down to 7. My goodness, we thought we were going to get to 10 people. We're all excited that we had 9 people watching, but we've lost a couple anyway. No, Baby P, I'm guessing you noticed the little Australian stubby holder that she sent to me some while ago, but no, I haven't heard from No Script. I did send her an email a little while ago, say a little while ago, it might have been a few months ago, haven't heard anything since. And last I can remember that there was, oh my goodness, she was facing all sorts of apocalyptic types of scenarios on a personal and national level. There was bushfires and stuff that she was expecting, and was also facing some hardships financially and maybe employment wise. These things were kind of lining up, and we haven't kind of heard from No Script since. So hopefully, fingers crossed, thoughts, prayers, the force, all that kind of stuff. Good vibes sending all the way down under to our friend No Script down there. So maybe guys, you know, go check out her channel, leave some comments on her most recent video if you can. Let her know we are thinking of her, because we don't like to think of anyone in the Thrift Fam community struggling. What have I been doing, Elmel? Secrets a boy must keep at times, but a little bits of researching and trying to combat the passive censorship and the YouTube algorithms that have been against me for some time. You know that I am a non-monetized channel. I don't get any assistance from YouTube or financial compensation from YouTube whatsoever. I just produce videos. I produce videos free to view. I don't have like BitChute or Patreon or any of these other kind of paid platforms that a lot of other YouTubers are using. Not saying there's anything wrong with that. Some people do have to make a living, and you know, until I was made non-essential and put out of work as a result of the pandemic, This was just a little hobby that I had on the sideline. It kind of kept me a little bit entertained, a little bit occupied on my days off, and kind of give me something to focus on rather than kind of dwelling on the past in depressing post-traumatic thoughts that just maintain a dark state of mind. But you know, since the pandemic come and hit us, not just me, lots and lots of people have been affected if they are not infected, when it seems like almost fucking nobody has been infected by COVID-19. In fact, the only people you hear about it is, oh, my friend was on the bus the other day and she saw a lady who heard her talking on the phone to somebody who said that they knew somebody who knew somebody who read an Instagram tweet on a subway car that said that they knew somebody that was once a doctor that worked at a 3MN95 factory that contracted the virus. It's all kind of stuff like that. It's all kind of Chinese whispers, fucking Chinese, Russian dolls, somebody of somebody of somebody that's got it, but we don't actually know anybody in direct contact. I'm not saying it's not real, and maybe one or two of you might know some people that are closest, but on a whole, in general, the epidemic, the pandemic that was presented as to us in the very, very early days of this was kind of suggesting that by this time, you know, July, half the population was going to be gone. There's going to be smoke and fires everywhere, desolation, broken windows, empty shelves, dogs going back to feral states, you know, roaming wildly, just chaos, pandemonium, the stench of foul, decomposing corpses on the streets. Didn't happen. All we see is people wearing masks, people not wearing masks, conflicts, divide, conquer, BLM, defund the police. My God, there was some interesting stuff down at the Queen's Park yesterday. I actually taken a little bit of a back step from those proceedings, personal reasons, stuff going on elsewhere, but that's something anyway. Sharty moving up, yes indeed. Yeah, she did. She No Script was one of the early kind of thrift fam community, and she actually kind of did very much similar to Heidi over at Disabled and Prep. And you look at No Script and Heidi's prep and pantries, they're almost carbon copies of what I got going on, that you can check out in the video I just uploaded earlier. Got back a little bit to basics, put a prepping video out, highlighted the pantry, showed kind of what I have used. Many of you, you know, we're talking about the pandemic. It's 4 fucking months now, and in that 4 months I've been out of work, and kind of the summer months as well, the warmer days in the last sort of few weeks have inspired me to be outside. I don't really want to be stuck in the studio. I don't want to be kind of stuck here editing and stuff. And then on top of that, you know, the loss of the thrift phone, as we were kind of just trying to make a few steps into improvement and trying to make a better experience. All that shit kind of backfired with the loss of my technical equipment. Not only that, kind of my selfie stick broke, my tripod, you know, everything sort of seemed to just, and they were only little things. It's not major things. It's not like the end of the world, but they're just little things that kind of mounted up. It just kind of made me kind of go a little bit back in my shell, feel a little bit reserved, and dare I say a little bit self-conscious of what I'm doing. Maybe, you know, oh my goodness, I'm trying to fly too close to the sun. Maybe I should have just stuck with what I know. If it's not broke, don't try and fix it. You know, why oh why, yada yada. Always kind of self-doubt is to when things happen that seem to go against the grain that you have no control about. But even though we have got, or I have got myself a much more shiny and fancy upgraded studio now, dare I say it's almost at a professional level of standard equipment. Not sure that I am at the professional level of technique capacity. Baby P, there was a little bit of a half-hearted coffee flavored burp for you. What was I saying? I don't fucking know. I've lost my train of thought. A little bit of what's going to be going on in recent times. My mind has been a little bit clouded. Have been enjoying the summer warm days. But as I was saying, guys, you know, the channel improvements, everything here, we were trying to sort of make things a little bit more better. And the reason was because I did have plans that this year, prior to a COVID pandemic, that maybe I could slow down a little bit in the kitchen, maybe take a day out of my schedule, work maybe 3 or 4 days a week in the kitchen, maybe spend a little bit more time in the thrift store, bringing you some, you know, more entertaining, possibly not going to say professional grade, but a little bit more of a better quality of video output for your viewing pleasures, and maybe try to kind of make this like my part-time job, and maybe, you know, through funding and donations from the viewers, I could kind of make up the difference in my salary loss from the days that I would be taken out of the kitchen. However, it's been 4 months since I've picked up a pay pack. In that 4 months, the only income that I really have had coming in has been through the kindness and generosity of you viewers out there who have, you know, delved deep and put your hands in your purse and pockets to make sure I've managed to not go without things like smoke, cigarettes, and fresh food and produce. You know, I've got some grocery top-ups a couple of times from Walmart. Managed to keep my smokes and things topped up, even, you know, these little things, even though I have, you know, in my own pantry, and I did have like stockpiles of many of the things that I use on a daily basis. I kind of didn't foresee that we were going to be out of it for 4 months, although my food stock pile, which to me is always going to be the paramount and most primary prepping need that I have. As long as I can eat, everything else we can kind of find a way around, but you can't always find a way around things if you can eat. And once you can fuel the body, then things are a little bit easier. Not necessarily you can go skipping and dancing through the apocalypse just because you've had some ramen and a can of beans, but certainly it will energize you and help maybe some of the fatigue and morale issues that may be surrounding you know, starvation and stuff like that. But I've managed to keep the sort of the refrigerator topped up. I have delved in a little bit to the pantry. The MREs that I once had have all but gone. I've got a couple of rations left for future review purposes, but you know, this is something that's also been a little bit affected because, you know, at least once a week or maybe once a month, I did try to bring you a ration review, and that is something I very, very much enjoyed doing. That was kind of a little weekly treat for me, and like, as you know, I'm a chef and I don't really like cooking, so having a meal that was ready to eat that I could also make a video and review at the same time was like, you know, win-win-win. Get to produce content, get to eat something, and get to do an enjoyable experience. But as I said, guys, you know, it has been a little bit tough and difficult. Things like my laundry detergent, now I ran out of razors. I still have like soap and deodorant and toiletries and things like that. You know, maybe I only had a small amount of stockpile, maybe not for any long period of time, maybe, you know, 2 or 3 months worth of laundry detergent, you know, enough razors for 2 or 3 months. You know, and these were like my secondary kind of preps. You know, these are again things you can do every day, but again, in an absolute emergency, you can kind of maybe add some water to your shower gel, water it down a little bit, or maybe, you know, not necessarily shower every day. I'm not recommending that you do, but there are ways that you can kind of negotiate those kind of losses. Whereas, you know, if you don't got food, it just gets worse and worse and worse. So I mean, I am sitting still on quite a substantial amount of food, but I do desperately want to start to replenish it, because as I said, at the minute things don't really look as though they're going to be ending anytime soon. But hopefully, fingers crossed, I could be back at work within the coming days and possibly weeks. There is a possibility we might be opening up before the end of the month, if not certainly at the beginning of August. But to what capacity I will be utilized, I do not know. How many hours I'm going to get, I do not know. So as I said, guy, you know, although I am still kind of stocked pretty well, I need to kind of also take into consideration, when's it going to get, you know, when's this pandemic kind of come to an end? When am I going to be able to start replenishing my pantry rather than living off of my pantry? But again, if I do get back to work, that will alleviate a little bit of my eating. You know, I can eat at work a couple of days a week, or how many days a week I get. And more importantly, I need to start getting some income in, because, you know, the last couple of weeks I've been kind of saving the ends of my cigarettes. I've been looking on the floor for any little bits of weed or rolling papers that I may have dropped or fell down the back of, not because it's become that desperate, but before it does get that desperate, let's stockpile, let's make sure and maintain the things that I do have are a little bit topped up. But there you go, guys. What are we talking here? The Turpin children were only bathed annually. Ooh, was it bad? Sings a lot. We were just talking and thinking about you. We are over double figures now. Awesome. We were trying to do that thing earlier when we kind of used to put our collective conscious together and try to summon the Thrift fam. So who's missing? Anika, Hoopdies, Judy Bell. Where's Judy Bell? Maybe we should start playing shitty cards, get that casino vibe on, because we do know how much Judy Bell loves to get in her gambling mode. Bless her Collins socks. But anyway, let's try and get as many people in the viewing figure tonight. Let's try and get ourselves back to some of those old school type TSP improv ad-libs. Make it up as we go along live shows. Because I thought to myself, maybe sometimes that's why I'm kind of... We present our own obstacles to ourselves that we have to overcome, and we become our greatest obstacle to overcome. Sometimes we find reasons why we shouldn't go outside, maybe put ourselves off going to social events because we say before we've even got there we're not going to have a good time. And sometimes perhaps, you know, as I said, I was trying to make some improvements and wanted to try and bring a little bit of a better quality to the material that I bring you on the TSP TV, and maybe that in turn put a little bit of unnecessary pressure on my shoulders of having to feel like I need to produce something that's going to be either mind-blowing or sensational or, you know, out of this world, so to speak, for want of better descriptive similes. But still, the best shows that we sometimes have were the pro shows that we didn't plan. And I was actually out last night with the TTC, the Toronto Truth Crew. We hung out on the beach, didn't do any recording yesterday at all, didn't feel like it. Don't know, maybe some of those dark clouds or dark forces that may or may not be influencing and tinkering with my mind and mood swings, stuff like that. I'm not going to rule it out, I'm not going to say that is what it is, but there has been some strange and weird goings on over the weeks and months that may or may not have had an impact on even things like the destruction of my my phone and equipment. You know, are there powers to be that are causing these things to happen? Who knows? But let's not, you know, we are truthers, we are conspiracy theorists, we do wear our tinfoil hats with pride, and we kind of don't or can't rule anything out until we can rule it out. You know what I'm saying? You feel me, people? But yesterday I was out and I was having a little chat to our new friend, character, cast member, Maddie. You know, Maddie, Derek, and Grace are they're kind of the closest in I guess the core of the TTC, the Toronto Truth Crew. But I was talking to her yesterday, you know, because she's only kind of come to the thrift store recently as a result of finding me through the Toronto lockdown protests, and, you know, forming friendships and bonds that we already have, and enjoying some fun times together again. More reasons to be outside than inside. But I was chatting to her yesterday about, you know, kind of how this sort of channel come to be and how some of you have come to follow and be part of the family and stuff, yada yada, whoopie woo, ray-tay-tay. But I was kind of saying, you know, sometimes we used to be able to do live shows and we spoke for 7.5 hours. We've had a 7.5 hour live show before, 5-hour live shows, sometimes without beating, you know, with a blink of an eye, out without missing a beat, so to speak. And all of that was unscripted, improvised, ad-libbed, and we all had enjoyable experiences. So maybe this is what I'm trying to say, that in my attempts to possibly improve things, I put barriers and obstacles in the way that kind of prevented me from doing so. And you know, a little bit what I was saying earlier in the show, sometimes maybe if it isn't broke, don't try to fix it, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't maybe try and make it a little bit better, a little bit prettier, although my old man did always tell me you can't polish a turd. So let's go and see what some of you guys are talking there. Nancy, the Turpin family, the one who had the 12 children locked up. Yes, this rings a bell. And weren't the children, they had like their own language. They couldn't speak. They kind of were almost like feral dogs. Kaz, sorry to see you going. You take more care, my darling. And actually, shall I put on my northern accent and tell you to have a great day? Stay out of trouble over there, Kaz. Get yourself a cup of tea and a double-decker from the news agents. I was going to say from the packy shop, but that's not really very politically correct now. But you do know that people still say that, like, probably down your street, and your neighbour might even use that terminology. Although it is a thing in the past, and I do ask for forgiveness for using such politically incorrect terminology. But anyway, Kaz, you have yourself a great day there, my darling. That was a Northern English accent for those of you that were unaware, wasn't having a stroke or didn't suddenly become constipated or trying to maybe stop a hemorrhoid from bursting. But anyway, I do have a little bit of an interesting, disturbing experience and story that I'm not even sure I should really share with you, although it would probably be better to share if at least one of the Toronto Truth crew was with me, because they were kind of on hand to witness what we're referring to as my knee to moment. Knee to, maybe remember that, and I'll tell you if or not the Truth crew do show up. But let's just say maybe one of the protesters got a little bit closer than they should be, and maybe kind of took some kind of liberty and broke boundaries. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. But need to, hashtag need to, actually. Oh my goodness, that was a little bit unfortunate. I did bash my camera tripod. Then that is something else that is also new and improved. We've got a new improved tripod. So maybe I can, if I can actually figure this out. Here we go. Using my computer in the Thrift Fam store. That's not a word. Okay, now I've got it. Knee to. I'm not very good with a computer. I've been using phones for such a long time. I know my way around a touchscreen computer, but unfortunately not so much on a computer. But I have been using it a little bit, getting used to it and familiar. I do have BitChute and what's the other one? I don't fucking know now. DLive. I've got both of those accounts, but I ain't got a fucking clue. I don't know what to tell you on the volume, Nancy, as again, there are some things that are a little bit out of my control. As far as my side, the volume in the microphone is set up how it should be set up by default. Maybe I do need to get myself a microphone in the future as the upgrades continue. But as I said, guys, we're kind of back cooking more than gas at the minute. We've got two fancy brand new phones that use an Android 10. I got a fancy more than I need computer. I don't even know what this computer can do in terms of technology and processing and stuff like that capabilities. But as I said, guys, we are all up. You know, I'm kind of operating within my technical capacity. There are things that maybe I need to look at, maybe some settings and stuff. So we might, you know, there is a little bit of teething trouble in, what's the word else? Like you know, when you're kind of finding your feet with new things and stuff. Timber, welcome. You're down in West Australia, so yeah, maybe it's like, see if you've got your plugs pushed all the way in, Nancy, because sometimes if you have a case on your phone, darling, sometimes I've noticed this happens to me, that you're you know, what's that thing called where you stick the hole that you stick your headphones in, sometimes the case prevents it from going all the way in, and you might need to do something like that, have a little bit of a play around. But Nancy, you do always seem to get buffering in volume issues. Maybe or not that is due to technology, or maybe it is just a Nancyism. I'm going to put my money on it being a Nancyism. So who else is saying shit in the comments that is any interesting? Jasper, you did make a very interesting point. Actually, that was a question, something I did want to break up. I did put a video up, the importance of prepping earlier, which kind of told people, you know, how really important my prepper pantry has become to me. It wasn't just manufactured reality. It wasn't just content made for videos that you guys watched. It has served a purpose. All those little trips to the Dollarama, into the No Frills, when I was putting food and granola bars and stuff like that into those containers. That's what I've been living on for these 4 months. And even though the income hasn't been coming in as it was, I've still lived pretty relatively comfortably. I haven't really had to go without anything in that time. There was a couple of days maybe my tobacco and cigarettes got a little bit low, or maybe I run out of some rolling papers, but other than that, I haven't really missed a beat. Cleanliness each and every day. I'm not a viewer, not to work with some years me how I was getting on. I said, "Oh, I'm kind of running." Bless her, bless her. She sent me a little care pack dishes where people kind of go and some razors, and she also sent in a few sort of essential daily groceries like milk, bread, and eggs. So I got a few more things in my refrigerator to keep me fed and watered for the coming days ahead. And as I said, the months beyond that, I still have a pretty decent stocked pantry. But Jasper, you were asking if I had to do anything different, would there be any kind of changes I would have made to my pantry? I got to say, not really. And I'm not saying that because, oh, I'm perfect. I've got my system down. This is the only way to prep. You have to prep my way. And 99% of you are going to die if you don't prep the TSP way. Not at all. The TSP way, thrifty, micro, sensi prep, and whichever you wish to call it, whatever, kind of method that we've coined here at the thrift store. This is a method that I kind of figured out for myself, passed on that information. Some of you have adapted some of those skills in habits that I have into your daily prepping. We kind of learn for each other. There is no real wrong or right way to prep. Just be mindful of your own circumstances and surroundings as to what you can need or don't need, or what would be useless in an emergency situation. However, a lot of the things that I did buy, some of my influence for my pantry did in fact come from my enthusiasm and love, dare I say, of rations, meals ready to eat. So I put things like granola bars in there. I had like crackers, beef jerky, some of these kind of snacks that you can kind of readily eat. Now, along with those out of date rations that I was living on in the early days of this pandemic, I was also kind of living off of the snack stuff, particularly like a couple of granola bars and a bag of jerky. That was a meal. I had a couple of bags also of like powdered milk, which I actually also did use as for drinking and mixing in with oatmeal. So things like the oatmeals in my granola bars and my jerky and stuff like that, I kind of did use more than delving into my canned items. And I don't know why the canned items to me are like my long term. They've got kind of a shelf life beyond shelf life. You know what I'm saying? So would I necessarily have changed anything or maybe stockpiled on more items rather than that? I'm not too sure. For me, like, I haven't really, this isn't a doomsday type apocalypse. It's not like food has become completely scarce and unavailable. So possibly not. I mean, maybe I would stock up on in the future on maybe more things like couscous. I got a few bags of couscous, but maybe things like that I'm going to be stocking up a little bit more on. Maybe looking to possibly stockpile a lot more V8. The canned vegetable drink, you can get it like the soda can sizes, those kind of things, because they fit nicely into the pantry as opposed to the big bottles, or the big bottles is a cheaper way to buy it. But possibly things like that I might look in to stockpiling more, and maybe kind of the shelf stable kind of milk. The powdered milk was great, actually. I mean, it wasn't that unpleasant to drink. Certainly when you mixed it in with your oatmeal, it wasn't noticeable at all. But maybe looking at things like the soy beverages or the almond milk, that kind of stuff, they have a pretty long shelf life as well as quite some nutrition requirements stuff. Sings a lot. I got cans of nacho cheese and really ants added it to my pantry. Good stuff. Was it on offer? Sings a lot. Did you get like a case or stuff? It's good to see you as well, Timber. It has been a while. It's right. So I don't know if or not that answers your question, Jasper, but I don't think there would be anything I would have, or you don't really want to be having this in your pantry. So something I would like more of would be MREs, of course, as I kind of put. Oh, you haven't actually seen that video yet. I do have an MRE ration I made. I don't know if you saw this little teaser. I've made myself my own personal 24-hour ration out of the last components that I had of those out of dates. But there is a video. It actually is processed. I will be uploading that probably later this evening or tomorrow to give you something to watch. You got a prepping video today. It's actually getting quite a lot of comments and some nice amount of views in the short time that it has been up. A little while ago we did put a 2020 the time to prep is now, and I actually do think it is now. Many of you guys out there, you are preppers. You probably do have pantries that are stocked as I do. I'm kind of in this sort of, not necessarily panicking, but there are some anxieties that shit, I have kind of dented quite a lot of my pantry without really denting my pantry. But as I said, all the kind of beef jerky and kind of that stuff, the granola bars, a lot of crackers, also kind of some cookies and things like that. You know, I had those little dollar store cookies, they're kind of like energy bars, protein bar type things. All that kind of stuff is what I did go through first. If I would possibly change anything, I would maybe like not eat all of my kind of snack items at once. Maybe try to sort of put it together, maybe try, you know, like MREs, put together a little balanced meal, like, you know, there's a rum and a can of beans, and that's this granola bar is my dessert for the day, that kind of stuff. But, you know, as I said, there is no real right or wrong way to do it. The main importance was that I did get to eat something each and every day, and a lot of the food that, you know, I talk about when we regard in regard to Sensi prepping is put food in your pantry. If you don't have much space and you don't have much money, that is going to be as nutritionally dense as possible. So these little granola bars, you know, they got some carbs, they got some fiber, they got some protein. It's like a little trail mix basically. Same with beef jerky, you know, there's a lot of protein and stuff like that. But as I said, I kind of did just kind of live off snacks mostly at the beginning of this protein at the beginning of the pandemic, because I also lived off a little bit of the fat in store and food reserves that I had already in me, because, you know, I do get to eat every day, or was getting to eat each and every day at work. And some of you who've watched those sandwich shop videos, you know, literally every day I'd kind of bring a sandwich like that home with me for a snack, as well as getting to eat at work. So I was eating particularly well. So I mean, it was a little bit of a shock to the system from going to eating restaurant food on a daily basis to kind of suddenly living off of 6-year-old MREs on a daily basis. But it was fun. The only thing that is a disappointment that a lot of those rations that I was living off of daily, I put together in a series of rat-fucked ration. There was 9 in total. I think I got 2, maybe 3 rat-fucked ration reviews up for you, but I had a whole series of them that are lost and gone forever now. Trip, I got 2 big bags of Gatorade mix. Good things to have. Your electrolytes are in those. And again, I got a couple of bags of like Kool-Aid powder. Not exactly the same as Gatorade, but those are some things, you know, and this is what I'm saying, that like maybe when I do get around to replenishing, there might be some items that, you know, I don't really need any more ramen, let's put it that way. And I got kind of a lot of cans of beans, potatoes, and stuff like that. So I possibly might, if I was to maybe grow the pantry more, I'd probably look into stocking up with more things like the Campbell soups, the chunky soups, as opposed to, you know, I've got a lot of fundamental cheap items like the beans and the potatoes. They're like $1 a can, right? So those are kind of like my foundation bulk buy-ins, because you can get a lot of these for a little amount of money, right? But now I do have like a base and a foundation of my pantry, then I can kind of build onto it with maybe luxury items. And this is kind of how I sort of started out this. I wanted to put as much kind of bulk food in, like the beans, cans, the Boyardee, kind of little complete meals in a can, so to speak, as much of those as possible, along with my ramen, because ramen are cheap. Those are my carb of choice and are way better, in my personal opinion, in your pantry than pasta, rice, and you know the reasons why. Answers in the comments below, guys. Let's see that you have been paying attention to TSP over these weeks and months since we started our humble origins. Guys, I need to go and grab some water. Hold on a second. I'm a bit cold on mouth. No one near is here. Hey, Shawnee, glad to see you. So what are we up to? 14 people. Come on, do you think we can get 20? I haven't had 20 people in chat for like fucking ever. Spread the word. Go into Discord. Let's summon the Gusset Girls. Gusset Girls, Gusset Girls, wherefore art thou? All here. They're not all here, Nancy. There are more to the thrift fam than 14 people. All right. But we need to get everybody. It'd be nice, you know. We used to. There were even sometimes we had 30 people in the chats. Can you ever remember those days, guys, when we used to get 30 plus in the live chats? Seems like a lifetime ago. Just as normality seemed almost a lifetime ago. What were we talking about? Have you watched Israel news lately? Steven says they were hurling through an asteroid field, maybe plumbed. What have I been telling you about the false flag from outer space forever? That was a thing on Marfugal I talked about, the coming threat from outer space, the next big false flag. How many of you have been paying attention to my Blue Beam videos? How many people have been paying attention? This is, you know, come, let's have a little bit of a airing of dirty laundry. You know, I put out a video about the murder hornets and DARPA's Insect Allies project, and DARPA's looking into insect drone technology, drones that have their own artificial intelligence that can act independently and can differentiate which rooms they've been in and which people they have possibly targeted with a very tiny payload that these microscopic drones that DARPA are researching. Now, I put that video out within hours of hearing of the more murder hornets, because 2020 is like a fucking kind of pick your own adventure gone wrong type of a year, where do you want to be attacked by murder hornets or abominable machine gun chimpanzees? Go to page 37 for bumblebees with machetes, or murder hornets go to page 66. But I put a video up by that. Hardly anybody watched it, and I seen a few of you weeks afterwards starting sharing other videos about the DARPA hornets and the insect allies. I'm like, do you people even watch my videos sometimes? And, you know, I sort of scratch my head a little bit, especially when you're trying to make some improvements and try and get out there and maybe inform some people. And actually, Trip, we're having a little chat before live, and he actually said, thanks to me, that his neighbor has become, I mean, I don't know how that's thanks to me. I think it's probably maybe more thanks to Trip for maybe reiterating the information that he picked up here to his neighbor. But, you know, that's kind of how the communication works. This is how we try, you know, we're not in competition with other people. We're not here to try and have scoops and exclusives that other YouTubers haven't. We're just trying to share truth, and that is what is a little bit of a problem, in my personal opinion, with the truth community. There are some people that are trying to maybe one up the next truther, or maybe discredit the other truther in order to try and be more credible, legible, or superior, whatever the reasons is. And, you know, we're not in competition. We're just trying to awaken people. We're just trying to share information that may help people come to their own conclusions, form their own opinions, or decide what course of action they need to take in terms of to prep or not to prep, to wear a mask or not a mask. But I put a lot of videos out, a lot of stuff that I was putting time and effort into in attempts to try and improve, that seemed to just get disregarded, you know, or unnoticed. Whether or not that's because you didn't get notifications for it, maybe you didn't like the thumbnail, maybe, oh, it's TSP, he's funny, he's a little bit weird, he's that guy in the basement with the little squishy turd on his, you know, I don't really want to be sharing that kind of information because that might be a bit embarrassing. But let's share this guy's information, even though TSP brought this information a month before this bigger, better YouTube channel that may sell EMP shields or not. let's share the bigger channels content. And you know, that doesn't help smaller channels like this. It's not just about, you know, watching and thumbs up. It's about trying to share the information, and some of this information may help people, not just like Trip's neighbor. There are more than one Trip's neighbor. You know, Trip's neighbor happens to be the real Trip's neighbor, but you've all got a neighbor that might need awakening, and maybe one of my videos might help do so. Maybe, you know, share a prep. Hey, if you prepped, check this guy out. He put together a cheap and inexpensive pantry of food at the dollar store. And guess what? This motherfucker's been living off of that dollar store pantry for the last 4 months in this pandemic. Hasn't been earning an income, but the guy's been eating, sitting pretty. He hasn't wanted for a meal. So maybe this guy is doing something right. But little things like that, I kind of wonder as to why, you know, my DARPA Hornet video only gets 54 views, but a bigger channel that makes pretty much a regurgitated version of my video gets hundreds of thousands of views or tens of thousands of views and gets shared. You know, I am friends with some of you guys on Facebook, and I do see what some of you guys do share. Don't often see my videos getting shared amongst there. And again, you know, when I'm looking at my view count and I get a live chat where only 4 people are watching, and maybe I've spent 3 or 4 hours editing and putting together a video that only gets 43 views when you've got thousands of subscribers, it makes you wonder as to why. And I kind of have to ask myself as to why that is. Is it because I'm an embarrassment? Am I like a dirty little secret? Am I like something you're ashamed to admit to watching? You know, like pornography or fetish porn. You know, maybe you've got some more reputable truthers out there that you like to share on your content. Maybe TSP TV. It's a little bit quirky, a little bit out there. I don't know. Trying to find explanations, but at the same time, you can't always have answers for your own thoughts that may be bouncing around your head. You can only have opinions on those. So you know, I'm trying to sort of figure out answers as to why some of this stuff doesn't necessarily get the views that other stuff does. Is it all down to passive censorship? Is it because you don't like my thumbnails? Is it because that content is just like, hey, you know, I don't really, that doesn't interest me, you know, and you don't have to watch all this stuff. But as I said, I'm trying to sort of get some research, some feedback, some answers of my own as to what I should be doing going forward. Because, you know, at the end of the day, when you're putting together sometimes, or spending, you know, days perhaps putting together a video that only a handful of people are going to watch, and you're not even going to be getting any sort of financial return on it, and you know, that's not necessarily the purpose of it, but sometimes the return on it would be some comments, some feedback, or, you know, somebody, oh my goodness, thank you for this has helped or changed how I'm going to look into things. That is a reward in itself. And as I said, sometimes when you do things without reward, almost gets a little bit redundant, if you feel me. Trip's lucky is so low lucky. But anyway, you know, guys, help me out a little bit. And it's not just about you know, watching and thumbs up. That get this message out, because just as some of you guys have benefited in maybe a tiny little way from watching my videos, or maybe you've been awoken to some ideas that you may not have been awoke to priorly, there might be others out there. And you know, in these dark times, strength comes in numbers. And just as I'm kind of finding maybe thrift fam community type folks here in Toronto that are becoming part of the Truth crew, becoming friends and cast members of this show, we need to find more thrift fam, because there's more of us out there, guys, and strength in numbers. And you know, maybe those of you who've spoken before that are in close proximity, maybe, you know, if times get darker and harder, then maybe you will find some comfort and solace with one another. Maybe a little bit of what we're trying to do here with the Toronto Truth crew is try and build or get something together that we may be able to survive together, as opposed to solely. And it's not exactly much fun being on your own at the best of times, and sort of, you know, knowing that there might be someone to catch you if not you fall or stumble in the future. That is almost as important as having some food insurance, you feel me? Microchipping legislation. Well, this is the thing with the scammed pandemic, that it doesn't really matter how many of us go out and protest, how many of us are upset. The elites are just going to do what the fuck they want regardless, right? They're rolling this shit out. They've been spending billions of dollars, years and decades and centuries of planning. Do you think they're going to fucking give up now just because a few folks stand up at the Queen's Park and decide to say that they've had enough and don't want the lockdown? As much as it is important to protest it, what can really stop the elites? Right, what can stop them? And again, you know, we're talking about these meteorite showers that Sings a lot was mentioning. Each and every week, guys, there is more and more news slipping rather into the mainstream media about stuff going on out of space, be it UFO sightings, comets, aliens. Fuck me, I've witnessed some peculiar goings on in the skies over Toronto. Some of those goings on have been incorporated in my videos, be they the out and about or the tea and friends. We've seen some very strange skies in and over Toronto. And just today, we got issued with a tornado warning, a shelter in place, emergency alert come out over all our cell phones. Like, this is Toronto, Canada. This isn't, you know, like, where's the Wizard of Oz? Kansas, where they get fucking tornadoes and hurricanes. And out of nowhere, a big black, similar to the other day, a big black, huge, electrically charged storm come over. You can almost feel it passing overhead, and it almost felt like it was kind of very, very low. You could almost reach out and touch some of those claps of thunder. Also gave me a little bit of a migraine and made me feel a little bit, you know, lethargic, and I needed to come in for a little bit of a lie down, but I did have a little nap, made myself something to eat, and all of a sudden found myself with a little bit of a charge and of energy and a little bit of creativity flowing through the bloodstream. So I got myself out, got a video produced and uploaded on the channel, got a second one processing, and we are now currently in the midst of a live show that has been going on for how long? Nearly 1 hour. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Isn't burqa the sheet dresses? I don't know. I think the hijab is just the headdress, and I think the burqa is the one that covers the face, kind of like the ninja type of outfit. No, you're welcome, Trip. Thank you for continuing to watch and view and give good feedback. Anyway, let's try and do a little bit of interacting with you guys, as we have been speaking a little bit for an hour. I don't know if any of that has been of help or of use to you all. Hopefully it has been something, or may not have been made some sense to you, but let's see what's going on. The microchipping, yeah, I mean, here they've kind of got this like mandatory mask in place in a little bit of a, you know, for example, now you have to go to a restaurant or a patio bar or whatever you're doing for your night out. You have to wear a mask to get inside the restaurant, and then when the server comes up, she has to wear a mask, and the customers have to wear a mask, and then you order your food, and then, you know, eventually your food and drinks will get brought to your table while you're wearing the mask that is designed to protect you from the disease, right? The COVID is everywhere. But you have to take your mask off in order to eat your meal, drink your drinks. Just can't do it with a mask on, right? Prove me wrong, unless you make a slit in your mask, but then that would kind of render the mask useless. So, you know, you have to go into this place wearing protection, but then while you're in the place, in order to enjoy your meal and drinks, you have to remove the protection, and then put the protection back on when you've finished eating, and then leave the premises. And hopefully that the pathogens will be kind enough and gracefully enough, like, oh, you know, guys, back off, he's eating, he's took the mask off to eat, can't contaminate him while he's eating, let's not, COVID, back the fuck up, bitch. The guy's eating, he's allowed to eat without his mask on. If he's not eating and he hasn't got a mask on, then we can affect him. If he starts walking the wrong way, if he doesn't you know, abide by the arrows in the grocery store, then we can attack him. As long as he's got a mask on and he's going the right way in a grocery store, we don't touch him. Okay, if they're eating in a restaurant, if they wore the mask into the restaurant and they took it off to eat, we can't attack him. And it's just nonsensical. Let me draw you an analogy, guys. Let's say, and this is probably more for the boys than the girls, but hopefully you'll get the gist of what I'm trying to say. So let's imagine you've treated yourself to a hooker. Okay, and let's say you've gone to visit the hooker and you said, okay, we're gonna have a good time here, guys, but I need you to wear a condom. Got to protect yourself. Now, with the restaurant example that we just made, that you have to wear the mask into the restaurant to protect yourself, but when your meal comes and your drinks come, you have to take the mask off in order to enjoy the meal and the drinks. So same thing. So imagine you've gone to your hooker, she's gone and getting her lube, getting her coochie KY'd up while you're getting yourself comfortable, and then she comes back in, gives you the condom. Okay, so you're going to need this protection. That's the way it goes. How it works with condom, you can pay extremely large amounts to go unprotected, but why would you want to sort of pay more for more of a risk? But some people like to live dangerously. But anyway, remembering what we said at the restaurant. So saying then you've said, okay, no problem. So you've wrapped up, you put the condom, you put it on your willy, and you slip it in, and you slip it in once, twice, maybe 3 times, and you put it off, and then say, you know what, I'm going to take the condom off. So you take the condom off, leave it on the side of the table, continue to carry out until almost the point of climax, at what point you think, oh, wait a minute, I do need to protect myself. So you pull out, roll the condom back on, insert, carry on until finish. Jobs again, exchange the finances, awkward hug, see you next time, leave. Now, during that experience, although you put the condom on at the beginning and you put the condom on at the end to catch your baby, your testicle babies before they get impregnated, have you protected yourself from getting an STD? So the same principles in the restaurant. If you've got to wear a mask in there to protect you from getting the COVID, how is a mask going to protect you when you take it off to eat your meal? Nonsensical, absolutely ridiculous, fraudulent misinformation that is fucking with the minds of humanity. But it's up to you guys. If people do want to wear masks, let them. We've got to live and let live. And just as these people might attack you for not wearing a mask, we're seeing people who don't wear masks attack. This is the divide and conquer, people. And while we're doing this shit, the elites are up there with a fucking little 6-year-old sucking each nutsack, laughing their fucking socks off while they're probably eating some actual baby back ribs, like a brand new baby born just moments ago to its enslaved, trafficked mother, probably coated in some human blood barbecue sauce, and they're laughing at us. My God, look at these idiots fighting among themselves over a piece of paper mask over their face. We didn't even need to launch the fucking Project Bluebeam or the nuclear nanobots. They're just going to tear themselves to pieces over masks. Glynis, are you bouncing? Glad you topped in, and thank you so much always for your support and continued generosity, my darling. So let's see what your comments are saying there. See if I'm missing anything. But did that make any sense, my hooker condom analogy? It's trying to use a computer to go down. Just checking in, about to go to work. You got a night shift ahead of you. No one here. Don't feel for you there. I know what going in on Sunday night for your first night shift is like. Have anyone Israel news? The asteroids, we've gone way far too back. It's the same thing from that Corey Good guy like a year ago. What are you talking about? Pedophiles things. We had a banana gusset girl arrived. I thought you meant aliens. I said a threat from above sings a lot. Aliens stroke asteroid. Go back, watch my videos. Pay attention to my videos. This information is in there. It is a little bit like Jumanji, No One Near. Yeah, like fucking I said, spin your own, choose your own adventure. But I actually do have some stuff lined up to bring out a 4th installment to my Bluebeam video, because governments are actually trying to pass protocol for a proposed extraterrestrial liaison. So if aliens come, they're trying to get a protocol of how to interact, intercept, and communicate with these people. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, yo. Remember that movie? Okay, good luck at work. No one near, although no one ever has a good day at work. Glynis is going grocery shopping. Enjoy. Gonna use my Halloween mask. Why not? And if you are gonna wear a mask, why not wear a raw sash mask? Or of course, V. these are the only masks you should be considering wearing. And I might actually start wearing my anonymous mask out and about. So we're down to 8 people right now. So as they have a duck down below the double digits, we might wrap this up shortly, bring this to the end. We were close a little bit to 20 people, or no, not really, we got to 15, I think, but we're down to under 10. Oh no, we're back up to 10. What the fuck? I don't know, but maybe we'll try and wrap this up around the 1 hour 30 mark, try and give you a good 90-minute live show for you then. But yeah, I do still believe that at some point in the future we are going to see some kind of psychological operation, false flag event that will be coming from outer space, be it extraterrestrial or asteroid, maybe both. Why not fucking throw the dice doubly and hit us with some further chaos within the chaos that may eventually bring a one world order, and that is really what they need to be doing. Martial law and stuff like this, we are kind of in a stage of medical martial law. Governments are operating under emergency guidelines and protocols. The ways that the government have run on a normal day-to-day structure have gone. We're in a state of emergency, guys, so states of emergency do claim for emergency measures that will supersede that of constitutional and federal law and stuff like that. They have to hold this bitch down. Well, they could just spray chloroform into the air and then they wouldn't need to hold any bitches down. As gallant and valiant as it is to say, I'm gonna go down, guns fighting, they have the technology to take us out at a fucking whim without us even knowing. And they're probably poisonous and polluting us already with nanotechnology that they could probably have a flick of a switch activate some kind of embedded default application or programming within this nanotechnology that could indeed start to eat away at our immune system and nervous system from the inside out. It was only a couple of years ago in my home native United Kingdom, actually a stone's throw away from where I was born in Swindon, Salisbury. I don't know if you can remember this. There was some poisoning where a couple of former Soviet spies had been relocated, given new identities and stuff, and were living kind of, incognito in and amongst Salisbury. But Putin didn't like this, sent a couple of rogue agents with some Novacek, I can't remember. It's a nerve agent, deadly toxin, weapon of mass destruction, and poisoned these 2 former agents, and also caused a little bit of a nerve toxin chemical warfare outbreak in a town that was about 30 miles from where I was born and raised. Made international headlines, and is even a TV series was made of these events, the Salisbury poisonings. And this is what I'm saying, a little tiny vial, this big, tiny little capsule of this chemical agent was powerful and strong enough to take out tens of thousands of people, and all they needed to do was break it. And that is how really truly easy it would be for the elites and the powers to eradicate us at a whim if they truly wanted to. But a little bit like a sick and twisted serial killer, sociopath, psychopath, maybe like Ed Gein, they've got a cat that they found like half dead, and rather than put it out of its misery, you kind of like to twist a tail, break a leg, pop an eye out, maybe burn an ear off, just see how much torment in suffering they can impose upon that poor creature before it finally kind of just gives up and dies on its own. This is where we are at, guys, in society and humanity. We are having the life strangled slowly out of us, and they are turning us against one another. If you have to go into a bank with a mask, this is what I'm saying. We live in upside down, back is forward types of, everything that we knew and led to believe was right is now wrong. And thoughts of wearing masks and things into banks or financial, it just seems ludicrous, but no, that's what they do. So, go with it. If you are going to wear masks, start wearing your Halloween mask each and everywhere. They say you need to wear a face covering. They don't say what type of face covering. They also kind of don't necessarily say where you need to wear the face covering. You could just wrap one around your wrist, and if they say where's your mask, it's here. I'm wearing a face covering, right? Defaults. But yeah, we don't want to be vaccinated. We don't want to be chipped in pins. We don't really want to live in a cashless society. We don't want to be fed Soylent Green on every Tuesday. We don't want to be living each and every day in fear of a simulated alien attack using holographic projections to make us believe we are constantly under threat from beings of a superior intellect and a far greater technological capacity than human and mankind. And something again was channeling about yesterday is, are we really that technologically advanced? We might think we are because we have smartphones and cell phones and computers and Wi-Fi and stuff like this, but maybe this is like, the old days when you had a tin can tied on a piece of string and that was your walkie-talkie as a kid. Maybe the technology that we actually have available at a commercial and public level is indeed antiquated, dated in decades out of date, and the elites have alien or technology so advanced it would be almost alien to our imagination or concept if we were to see or engage in a little bit about these kind of alien and staged UFO events that we may or may not come to witness in the not so distant future, and some of these alien videos that have been declassified by the Pentagon and the Ministry of Defense. Is this extraterrestrial UFO that we're seeing, or is it unidentified flying objects of an earthly origin that are unidentified because we've never seen them before? That doesn't necessarily mean they're extraterrestrial, right? This might be technology way beyond our comprehension and advancements in terms of what we consider is the height of technology available to us today. Let's not forget that the Black Hawk stealth bomber, this aircraft was in circulation and flying for over 30 years before it was declassified by the government and military to say, yeah, actually we do have this bomber that is radar free and can start, you know what I mean? And when we would have saw that stealth bomber prior to declassification, it would have looked completely alien to us. Am I right? Yes or yes? Something that would probably not might go over your head unless until not. I've lost my train of thought now. That comment might have gone over your head unless, of course, you were to be a regular attendee at the protests here at Queen's Park. In the cheesy category. Killer Kyle, Nika, where art thou? Hoopdies, I guess Elmel's off eating her pizza. It was great to see her. I wish she could have stuck around a little bit longer as Glynis, but she's off to do her groceries. Sean is off to work. I do know that Maida Montana, this is her sub time. There she is. Welcome. Talk of the devil, and thou'st shall appear. But again, something that is maybe a little bit of difficult. It is the summer months. People may be out and about. We're kind of getting away from the alien attacks and pandemic and everyday life. It is the summer months. Maybe people like myself are trying to just enjoy being outside. Maybe being non-essential, you got a little bit of freedom to enjoy the outside a little bit more than you would on a regular under regular circumstances, when you're in the rat race Monday to Friday, 40 hours a week type thing, not necessarily working Monday to Friday. Many people don't do that anymore. We almost do live in a 24/7, but it is the summer months. People are out and about doing things, and again, trying to find a time slot that is accommodating with everybody, or maybe doesn't coincide with other YouTubers that you may or may not subscribe to or watch. It's been a little bit difficult in recent months, and as I say, you know, we've got people in different time zones around the world. Trying to be accommodating for everybody is going to be a little bit different. I've tried to go later, I've tried to go earlier. We have experimented with lots of different time slots over the years, and or over the weeks and months, the years. We haven't been around for years as of yet, but you know, we do try to make it as accessible for everybody. We do try to, you know, it's nice to get as many people as we possibly can tuning in for these live shows, because it is good, you know, to get together, interact, have a little bit of community time, chill out about this. How easy scientists could develop an alien with modern technology is staggering. Yeah, goes, you know, this is why I've put together the Blue Beam series of videos, because I've demonstrated and showed you the technology that is not just readily available for military grade weaponry, but you can use this technology on your cell phone at a very small premium in order to create advertising revenue. So yeah, it is an absolute piece of fucking piss to simulate an alien invasion in using holographic technology. The time travel, and that's something also a little bit interesting. What are you talking about? 2 or 3 episodes? Dark. I've seen Dark on my streaming app. I've looked at the synopsis but haven't actually watched it. Would it be worth watching, Jasper? Killer! Oh my god, we're doing it, guys. We were trying to summon the Thrift fam, and here he is. You can't shut it the minute. Look, killer. There is the Dell working perfectly. See, I can read your comments there. See the little screen there, and then in the background, although I'm not using it, is the TV. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to try and experiment. Oh, I can't do that. My bad. That's shit. I've got some videos on this phone that I could have cast on there that we could have watched. But let me try a little something right now, because I did want to. All right. Why is there no sound? That's shit. Oh well, that doesn't work. I was trying to put a video on here for you to watch and listen to, but it ain't working for some reason. So that is kind of what I was hoping that we could do at some point, but I don't know as to why we don't got any volume right now. Does that look good? Nancy likes the Philadelphia project. Was that the one where the boat disappeared through a time portal and then reappeared and men were fused to the wall? But how's that working for you? Why have we got no sound? That is very peculiar to me. Never mind. If I do it like that, look, it's in the corner. That does look pretty cool, actually. Sorry, I'm just like looking what it looks like on the screen. Got a little bit of dust and stuff here. I'm just watching it on the computer there, but you're watching that screen. Jasper, yeah, it's a foreign series, but the voice is dubbed. Is that Dark? Yeah, I might try and check that out. What did I watch recently? A show called Cobra from the United Kingdom, kind of about a solar flare that took out the power grid in the United Kingdom, and there were several zones in the UK that were out power. Does it get better after the first 3? So you guys are still talking about Dark, I'm guessing. How did you like the TV screen? Although I'm a little bit curious as to why there was no sound, but never mind. We can figure that out at a later date, perhaps. hang on, let me just try something while I'm here. We are experimenting. Trailer. I'm talking about your step up. Nice. Oh, thank you, Jasper. Hey, look, that's interesting. Big Ben from London. That's in England. London. I've been there lots of times on school trips. Hang on. This is what we're trying to do. Get the YouTube up. Let's see if we can play the. Oh, it's in German. Weeks ago in the small town, a 15-year-old boy disappeared under the circumstances. Yeah, it's about missing kids, right? 33. Oh my god, there's a 33 in it. Walkman, that's pretty cool. Okay, it's kind of looking like there's some... I've not seen any more of the show. This is all I've seen of it. But I'm getting traces of Stephen King's It and Stranger Things. Just looking at the cast and the kind of... Yeah, the setup. Do we got Jenna watching? Welcome, Jenna. Long time no see. Hope you're doing good, sweetheart. Are you seeing this okay? The future also influences the past. TikTok. There's something from The Watchmen. TikTok this December. The question is not where, it's when. It's about time travel. I'm going to have to watch this. It's not who. That kid's the same boy, the 15-year-old. He's the old man as well, I'm guessing. Interesting. Gonna check it out. Time travel. It's voiced in. No, I just got the first trailer that come up on YouTube, guys. I wasn't necessarily trying to find the best trailer to watch. We're just experimenting a little bit. I mean, that is something that I do kind of want to do in the future. Indeed, Cal, thank you, Becky. Yeah, we will. But I think trailers are maybe a little bit alright. Oh, those have got some interesting masks. The 10 series you must have watched. But yeah, if it is voiced in English, I might try and check that out. I do watching a show that you should possibly check out yourself called Confession. And the reason why it took place in my hometown of Swindon in the United Kingdom. And it is a true story about a girl who went missing and then become part of a murder investigation. Glad to see you, Jenna. I was down at Queen's Park yesterday. I do know and kind of do also appreciate the reasons as to why you don't attend. And it is becoming a little bit of a strange place to be. Not sure if it's going in the right or the wrong direction, but it's going in some kind of direction. Let's just say that much. They did. I don't know if you saw local news. Is it somebody Andrew McDonald? Forgive me if that's wrong. But the statue down there at Queen's Park was vandalized. I actually do got a little bit of footage of that, maybe. Somewhere that I might bring to you. So what are we looking at now? 1 hour and 23. So I did say we were going to be wrapping this up around the 1 hour and 30-minute mark. Anyone know about the Can Am Missing project and book series? Can't say I do, trip, sorry. William, welcome. I've almost cut down 30 trees in the last 6 months and 10 of them in the last week. fire and solar will be needed in the next 2 months. Are we getting a power grid, do you think? And this was something interesting with that Cobra series that also took place in the UK, fictitious one, but lots of kind of stuff going. I might have to do a little bit of a fiction decoded video, and that's something I do want to get into to practice of, is the fiction decoded videos. I've got a lot of those in my mind. But they kind of simulated the reason that took the power down. There was a solar flare, kind of like a pulse that come down and hit and took out the power grid and broke down transformers and stuff. We go back last year, if you can remember the California power outages, PG&E, every other week it would seem we're taking the power grid down for a few days. And at the time we did suggest, was this a drill? Was this some kind of social programming, social engineering, getting people used to having periods of time with power? Okay, we've got power this week, no power next week. Is this part of some kind of future programming or planning, psychological, operational false flag event? Could this be part of maybe an asteroid strike's going to hit us and take down the power grid and leave us out of power for a little while? I know Danielle was harping on a couple of weeks ago about somebody talking about an EMP strike coming in October this year from China. And again, I keep telling you guys, China is the Lee Harvey, it's the Patsy, it's the Russians from the 80s, it's the Nazis from the 40s. We always need an enemy. We always need the finger to fucking point at to make it look as though we're not the bad guy, and China happens to be that direction that the finger points right now. And I don't believe that there would be an EMP strike used as a tactical advantage in some kind of warfare, because technology is how they control us. Bear in mind, they're trying to lead us and usher us towards a cashless society. They're trying to get us to order all of our food online, watch all of our programming online, not actually go out and work anymore, work at home where it is possible online. If we go out, we're going to be traced and tracked online. So an EMP shield or a strike for a prolonged period of time, taking the grid down indefinitely, that's not going to work for the elites, because we're going to start thinking and fending for ourselves. But could they take the power down for a temporarily amount of time that might sort of filter out a few weak links or cogs to their grander scale? A few people not so prepared might, fall foul to dire circumstances and extreme situations. They might not be as prepped or ready or aware or awake of such goings on by the elites, and be hit totally deer in the headlights by surprise, taken out within the blink of a notice. But it wouldn't surprise me if they did. It'd be very, very, very easy, just as the PG&E took down power grids in wide areas covering miles and miles last summer in Southern California. It'd be almost easy to do and blame it on any reason that took it down, right? Just like last, it was a twig fell down and burnt the wires out, stuff like this. Very easy to make these excuses. Jasper, if the internet goes down in your area, put your ears way up and be ready. Yeah, no, I agree. There's quite a lot, Jenna. I've been out and about doing some of my out and about walkabout videos with the tea and friends, and we're seeing a lot of kind of graffiti, and Afroism is something I'm noticing a lot. That seems to be cropping up an awful lot in and around the city, as well as like BLM related graffiti. Actually, kind of saw a guy the other week tagging up a wall, doing a nice little. It was actually a very, very talented piece of art actually on the wall that he did with a marker pen. But not only are we also seeing a lot of vandalism, graffiti by these kind of Soros-funded organizations, we're also seeing an awful lot of tent cities. And these tent cities don't look like homeless people. Homeless people don't necessarily have tents, and homeless people don't kind of carry around household belongings like lamps and maybe, those table stacks where you get smaller table, middle-sized table, bigger table, that kind of thing. rugs in chairs and things like this. And this is something I'm noticing a lot with these kind of tent cities that are cropping up, that it looks like a lot of them are people that have kind of maybe were living in a house or a flat or something not so very long ago, and have now suddenly found themselves without a roof over their head and are making the most of things they can with a tent in whatever few household items and possessions they could carry with them. It is starting to look a very sorry place out there in downtown Toronto. I mean, it was never really what I consider a picturesque or pretty city. At the best of times, it's very kind of ugly, kind of very urban, very vertical in some parts of it. I mean, it isn't without its charm. There are some beautiful pieces of scenery, more of the nature, you know, down on the beach, some of the parks and stuff like that. But you know, the city in the urbanized areas is very, very cityscape, right? But now, you know, seeing tented cities going up in porta potties and stuff like this, starting to look grim, guys, and we don't know sort of how many more of these people are going to start appearing and starting living in tents. Now, at the moment, this is fine. It's very, very hot. It's almost like being in Florida right now in southern Ontario, and I'm sure Jenna will agree with me. It's very uncomfortable, humid a couple of times. I mean, I really do enjoy the heat, but there's been a couple of days when it has been in the upper end of the heat spectrum. But yeah, we are in some testing dark days. Follow the dollars. Underground bases have caved in from quakes. Asteroid Neo going through the asteroid belt. William always brings some information to the thrift store that is of interest and does certainly, you know, get your eyes and ears open. So we are going to be looking at that. As I said, I do got some stuff lined up for a further blue beam video. And as I said, the blue beam is like, could it be UFOs? Could it be asteroid or comet related? I don't know. I just feel that we are going to see something coming from space. Asteroid Neo is something we will look into. Yeah, the rod of God, the directed energy. And you've been one of the strongest advocates for my blue beam. And it's not just my theory. There are lots of truthers out there that have been spoken about blue beam. And I really have for a few years been thinking to myself, it's only a matter of time before this comes. But as I said, guys, I do got a playlist going on for Bluebeam. Actually, the first video in that playlist does got over 1,000 views, so there was some interest in there. But like I say, guys, please sometimes pay attention. Some feedback and some interaction on those videos would be welcome from you, because you know sometimes we do try and get a little bit of dialogue, and you know, just like William comes with some information. I know that Hoopdies and Elmo, they've dropped me some information regarding this in the past. You know, maybe a little bit like Scooby-Doo when they kind of come together to solve the mystery. It's a little bit what I like to do here with the Thrift Fam, maybe solve some mysteries. And Jenna, there would be I'm also pretty certain there is a mystery to unravel at the Queen's Park, and actually do believe and have observed some people there that may be the organ grinders, if you know what I mean. And there may be some Masonic influence as well, because some bizarre witchcraft, I don't know. But there are some things going on at the Queen's Park that sort of weren't exactly there when the protests started. But in recent weeks, they have gone a little bit mainstream. They've had some viral video occurrences from the movement and the people that are involved down there at the Queen's Park protests, the Back to Work, the Fearless Ontario, and the Hugs Over Mask crews. They have got a lot of spotlight in the last few days and the last couple of weeks, and are kind of making local mainstream headlines. So kind of the need really for you know, when the mainstream weren't paying attention, and part of the parcel and the purpose that I was down there each and every week was because the mainstream wasn't covering it. Now they are almost means it's a little bit redundant of me going down there, and I did notice over the last few weeks maybe the numbers of the protesters had been dwindling, as well as the amount of people that were watching. But I have been talking. The good thing about it is that I have come in contact with a lot of good people. Some of you are becoming familiar with those, and some of them are becoming, dare I say, part of the family, part of the channel, and characters in an ongoing reality show. But there are some other guys like Good for All and Scuba Dracula, fellow YouTubers down there, and Little Letitia. These are the dear friends. Actually, I wanted to show something. I can't even remember what it's called now, but Good for All gave me something yesterday. If I could only find my bag. I can't find my bag. All right, I'll show you that at a different time. But he gave me this rock energy thing. Some of you may, I forgot what it's called now. But it was a very kind of. No, I agree, Gemma, and you know, I'm kind of possibly on a similar page to you. As I said, you know, you kind of got, that's all we've got going at the minute. It's kind of remotely on our side of the argument. So, you know, you kind of got to associate yourself with something that is closer to you than maybe the enemy, if you feel me there. I'm not saying that the protest is the enemy, but Jenna, if you can send me an email, let me put that in the just knocked the camera there. Comments for you. Maybe you can drop me an email. Maybe we can get together at some point and you can let me know. Confidentially, of course, if you want. But I am also hearing a few other things from other people as well. That there may be dirt or backgrounds, stuff going on in the background. But be very interesting to do. So if you're not legal, no, that's it, Jesper. I'm not entitled to any governmental handouts, or, you know, dang guys, if I was getting fucked, sometimes I don't earn $2,000 a month, even though I work full-time long hours almost every day. And I almost think to myself, dang, if I was at home now getting $2,000 a month for doing fucking nothing, I'd be happy as Larry. Absolutely happy as Larry. Pig in shit kind of happy. No, I've not really had any problems. We did have a little bit of an incident yesterday on the streetcar. A little bit of a Karen sparked up and started telling everybody that wasn't wearing a mask that they should be wearing a mask. We told her that we didn't need to wear masks, and eventually, for her own safety, not because we were about to like start eating her or cutting her up or anything like that, but she felt because we weren't wearing masks, for her own safety, she needed to leave the streetcar. But so far, I've had no real issues or complaints about not wearing a mask. Who knows? We'll see. And as again, I sort of think sometimes, you know, you don't, as much as there are mask bullies, we don't want to become anti-mask bullies, because it's exactly the same thing, just the opposite end of the spectrum. And we're trying to tell people to be excellent to each other. I have RBF, so people are scared to tell me to wear a mask. No, the witches aren't hot, Jasper. Unfortunately, although I don't actually know who the witches are, but there is definitely something going on there that is of possibly a supernatural origin. Let's say that much. 1 hour 37 minutes. Anything you want to add or bring up before we wrap up? Let's try and get this to the 1 hour 45, maybe, giving you a few extra minutes bonus. How have you enjoyed this live show tonight? Has it been a little bit more familiar to the TSP live shows of past? Has it been a fumbling, bumbling mess? Has there been any upstaging or distractions from the chat tonight? I'm not sure if there has been. But always glad for your company. Certainly glad to see you here, Jenna. You're one of the newfound friends and one of the sort of people I actually do miss from seeing at the protests. You know, there was a little bit of a familiarity about it in the early days, and you know, with the BLM kind of infiltration and showing up there in the divide that 1 week when they split the protests into two. Things kind of haven't really been the same. There was it sort of got to a peak and a height when there was a couple of those marches, and you kind of felt all proud and a little bit emotional to be there. Kind of got caught up in the passion of everything. It kind of seems to have disappeared and dried up, to be quite honest. And seems a little bit more as though it's about the organizations rather than supporting a movement down there. My opinion, that is not to say that is what is right or wrong. Been good, T, and I try to be here more. It's so, yeah, you know, we do have a lot of fun with these live shows, and as I sort of was mentioned at the outset of this, that maybe I've been kind of presenting obstacles and barriers to myself that I've been unable to get over, and kind of putting it in my mind that I need to put out a very valid, reputable, professional experience. But you know, that's not necessarily what Shit Video Productions is all about. And as I said, I do want to try and bring you a few improvements, and you know, I'm hoping that my edits and the intros and stuff on my videos now are a little bit more enjoyable, and just give it a little bit more of a, we spent, not saying professional, but we put a little bit of time into it. But that being said, sometimes the message isn't improved or diluted any by adding intros and edits. You know, once upon a time we just pressed play and what happened happened, and that was really and truly what Shit Video Productions was all about. But going back, you know, to try and come full circle to how we outstarted this show, is that, you know, I kind of would really, you know, like to try to make my living and this be my job, because then I'm in control of my own income, as is you know, opposed to having to be reliant on having a job to go to and a boss who's willing to pay me for my labor. Having something that I can be in control of, my own income, my own hours, my own work patterns, stuff like that, is something that I really have wanted for some time. And maybe TSP TV in its crudity and humbleness is that kind of the opportunity that maybe with a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of time and effort, that I could turn this into a feasible form of income and a livelihood to myself. Whether or not any of you guys would agree with that, I do not know. If any of you guys said, you know what, just don't fly too close to the sun, T. You're good at what you do. Just keep it at this. You don't need to be any better or any worse. As I said, you know, it would be nice to make this my job. I'd find it a lot more enjoyable than Caesar salad tossing for tossers that have erectile dysfunction. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, guys, I'm pretty sure you would not forgive me or begrudge me for having a little dream like that. And as I said, for nearly 4 months now, I have lived without an income. But because I was prepped, and because I prep, it hasn't been a struggle really at all. Although, as I did mention earlier, a few times in the last probably 3 or 4 weeks, tobacco and smoke issues have kind of come close to critical, but we have not run out of anything as of yet. Some things we are treading water with in terms of supply, other things we have still a little bit in abundance. But as I said, guys, you know, I've put together a little humble channel. I've got some simple techniques and tips for you that you may be able to follow along for your own prepping needs. I've taught you how to build a prepping pantry at the dollar store. I've built a bug out bag at the Dollarama. I put together an EDC from stuff that was inexpensive from China that I bought on eBay. I taught you how to make prison ramen, and even some of these little out and about down by the beach type of videos. Although you may not realize it, there are some humble and simple survival and prepping skills there. Something little Maddie said yesterday, that every time she hangs out with me, she learns something new. Whether it's using a space blanket for a tan reflector and to take to the beach to keep your, you know, personal belongings from getting sand in, and maybe not getting smelly and wet and damp like a towel. A space blanket is a multi-purpose thing that you could use for your beach days and survival skills. Not to mention that we last week during the lazing by the lakeside video, we put together a communal prison ramen. We took down some ramen, a couple of cans and food items from the pantry, and we made a meal in the field to show you just how easy it is to create and prepare yourself a nutritional, healthy meal without pots, pans, or any components or anything other than a Ziploc bag. And you get to see this as it happens in real time in the field, unedited, unfiltered. And when we do edit these videos, that's pretty much all I do, is kind of stick videos together and maybe put a couple of graphics or excuse me, I just got some lung butter. Sorry. Oh God. Holy shit, I don't know where that come from. That almost looks like I got fucking rabies. I'm not going to show you what I just spat into the sink. But there we are, guys. Almost at the 1 hour 45 minutes. Did that almost beautifully and picturesquely. Not really, that's not the right terminology at all. So anyway, guys, I do really hope exactly T, I can have a pretty deep converso when I'm serious. Elmo, you got early distress. I was going to wrap this up. We could probably go to 2 hours if you want. Do you want to go to 2 hours? Give me some thumbs up if you want another 15 minutes of tea. Guys, do you want another 15 minutes of tea? Don't all hit the emojis at once. Nancy, we don't actually want emojis from you as much as we love your emojis. You're kind of like my mum that just would like anything, even if I like come home with a fucking dog turd on a stick and said, Happy Mother's Day. You'd be, oh, sure, it's the best Mother's Day gift ever. Oh, sure, emojis. Rocket. William, yes, let's rock. Who knows? I'm not. Remember that one night that we were going to go on? I was talking about the 7.5 hour live feed that we did that time. We started at like 5 o'clock in the evening, and the intention, we'll be done by 7. Just kept going. All right, there's lots of emojis from Nancy. Actually, more emojis than we. Do we need to naughty corner you, Nancy? And you're right, Almo. I don't want to sort of make favorites or something, but kind of Almo's like one of those individuals, as is William, that sometimes when they get in the chat and they start adding their contributions, that can kind of kickstart and fuel my mind a little bit more. It's almost like the sort of jet fuel injection. And now people like Jasper and Trip, that again, they kind of fuel me with a different kind of energy to help do these things. That's kind of why the community, we kind of need everybody together, because sometimes we all kind of click and bounce, and little Darcy with her songs, and she provides us with so much. We love Darcy, and she's such a good sport with her dumpster tuggy humours, just as Elmo is with her Tijuana donkey shows. And it's almost not a TSP live show unless we mention Elmo and her donkey shows down in Tijuana, Nogales and Juarez. And little Darcy bending over behind a dumpster giving dumpster tuggies. We all do. And as I said, I'm not kind of pointing out or trying to make favourites or something. We have missed you, Elmo. We haven't seen you for a little while, and I always do like it when you are in here. Kind of you and Hoopties are almost like a twin dynamic duo. We can kind of bounce off each other quite well when we get our heads together. And I would love to, and with William, we've mentioned before, because some of you guys have been contributing a little bit to the Bluebeam content. I would love to try and maybe get a Zoom or a Signal type of deal going down at some point. So what happened to all our wenches? Becky was here. Jill, I'm guessing, is still eating supper. She did say this time slot is her kind of family supper time. Let's say we do try to get a time where we can kind of be accommodating to the widest possible sex not I don't even know what I'm trying to say, where we can attract to everybody, get as most people as possible. There's Baby P, glad to see you. Super, I don't know, I haven't seen her. Like, you and Hoops kind of disappeared at the same time, and that's why sometimes you and Hoops kind of come together at the same time. You like both show up at similar times as William Mason, kind of like the Gusset Girls. Remember when we used to say we were about to wrap things up, and then all of a sudden 17 newcomers would have 3 viewers for 2.5 hours, and then 5 minutes before we were about to end, 17 people would turn up. No, I don't know what I was talking about, Nancy. I got my words crossed somewhere along the line. Needs to roll some dice at some point, T. What dice? I was thinking about maybe rolling the shitty cards out for a little hand of shitty cards, but we've only got 12 minutes for the 2 hours. yeah, I lost my train of thought, Jasper. I don't know where I was going with the sex. I think we're trying to talk about getting a time frame where we can be, you know, we can attract to and again, I'm trying to say sex. Maybe that's some of the witchcraft down at the Queen's Park at at play. Higher or lower? Do you want a game of shitty cards? Have you played shitty cards yet, Elmel? Have you? Oh, that means I'm going to have to get the music up. Maybe I'm just going to tease shitty cards for you. We're going to play a game on Tuesday for sure. Hopefully we can get a Tuesday live show. And we'll play shitty cards. You know, or... my God, I actually do believe there is like a swinger cult at play going on. I don't want to sort of divulge too much of my thoughts or theories. But orgies... yeah, there's something going on along those lines. I'm not necessarily happening, but yeah, there's some stuff that is there that would support that theory. Just learned the vaccine may also have the God religious thought gene. That's why I want everyone to take it as wow. This is why I don't gamble. Yeah, I try not to gamble at all. Something maybe occasionally I have to play like the fruit machines in the pub back in England, but I'm not really a gambler. Where's my water? Maybe that's why I phoned up some gunk. But I've had an enjoyable night. This has been a fun day, and I actually kind of do feel as though I've got my little bit of TSP groove back on today. Something that has been lacking, and if or not, that is a result of supernatural activities or goings on or incantations. Well. Hi, Martha. And weren't we just saying that just about as we're about to wrap things up, 17 people will arrive. So who's next on the late night gusset arrivals? Is it going to be Anika? Will it be Hoopdies? Will it be Darcy returning after going away to give a dumpster tuggy to a random Latino for $13 and a bag of woodbines? I'm joking. I don't think Darcy was doing that at all. But Martha is our token gusset for the night. Still no mail, Martha. I don't know if or not it made it back to you, but that was very strange because the first letter you sent did seem to take an eternity to get here and then did arrive and I almost given up. And I have actually had 2 phones and a computer sent from other parts in the world that have arrived since after you had sent your letter out. Oh, that was a little bit of a shit burp. And I'm Baby P. I'm trying to burp for you because I do know you must be going. Now Kenley's here. What did we say 2 minutes ago? We're gonna be wrapping it up in 17. I mean, I don't think 17 people are going to arrive, but within the last minute or two, Kenley and Martha. So Kenley, you are the second of the gusset girls to come. Yeah, the certificate of vaccine ID. I've also heard COVID operation of vaccine. There's been a few variants of the COVID acronym. William, that's what I'm trying to say. So, who does anyone want to gamble and bet on the next gusset? I'm gonna throw my tuppence out there and say it is gonna be Anika. But we have had 2 gussets. We are going to be wrapping up very shortly, Kenley and Martha, because I am kind of running a little bit out of kind of direction with what I wanted to go with. And although it is sometimes fun to do 7-hour unplanned live shows, sometimes there's a third one for you, Baby Pete. That's what I was saying. Then Kenley showed up. Right, the burps. Yeah, you must be going through some burp withdrawal as I haven't been doing regular ration reviews. There's another burp. Yeah, CNA. He identifies as a gusset girl because, of course, CNA is actually a boy and he's from the old school where he is a boy. But he could identify as a gusset girl. We don't object to him identifying as a gusset gushing girl. I don't even know. That's why we're going to wrap this up, as I am getting a little bit running on fumes. So what are we at? 3 or 4 burps. Glad it's better to be late and healthy than early and sickly. Pretty sure it is better to be late and healthy than early and sickly. That's why I'm wrapping it up, because I'm kind of losing a little bit of I'm getting some brain farts. I do need to do a little bit of smoking, and I do got do you want me to upload? No, I'm going to upload it tomorrow. I'll upload that tomorrow morning. I do got an MRE video for you to enjoy. It's a homemade 24-hour ration video, although I don't actually review. There's no burps in it, so that's why I am trying to get some burps in here. I mean, I'm not deliberately doing the burps. They are natural burps of natural origin, baby P, but I am trying to give, it's kind of, we don't want you going cold turkey without your burps. And something you may have noticed in the Tea and Friends episode, did not just I burp, some of the others, Gracer and Derek in particular, do have some good burp off contests. I do hope you guys are enjoying the Tea and Friends videos, because they are kind of turning in to be my reality show. This is a real life reality experience. I'm not saying I edit and change, edit it to make it misinformative. I sort of do leave some stuff out and maybe cut some boring parts out or blurry parts of the videos, but for the most part, the whole part, those videos are unscripted and to the majority unplanned. And by that I mean, like, we may have, hey, let's go here, and when the plan is to go somewhere and maybe film on the way, that is the brunt of the plan. We don't plan out or stage anything that happens once the camera is rolling. So I would like a little bit, Kenley. We had a tornado here today, believe it or not, in some very, very damp and wet weather. My leg is throbbing a little bit. Some of you may know I do got shrapnel in my leg that is affected by rainy weather. And I was also out all night again until dawn at the beach around a campfire. And when I come back this morning, there was some particularly funky gunk up my nose, although it wasn't like of any Colombian or Albuquerque, New Mexico origins. And by that I mean drugs, like cocaine would be from Colombia and methamphetamine from Albuquerque, as like Breaking Bad, Heisenberg, stuff like that. So did we get another gusset? No. Burp-offs. Yeah, maybe that might be something. The great TSP burp-off. Maybe choose your burp contender, like Street Fighter. Something like that. And look at that. We are nearly at the 2-hour mark. So I do have a little bit of a stuffy nose, Kenley, but not because I've been reduced to bad habits or anything like that. Fracking, yeah, I've heard of that. Maybe as well, at some point, we're going to have to get a new thrift phone line set up. Somehow I did lose the thrift phone SIM card. So yeah, we might try and do that and get some phone-in shows in the future. Though we could probably do it without a phone. We could use Discord or Messenger or something to get a special guest viewers, or get you guys to call in. That might be fun. Maybe we'll try that in a week or two if we can. I'm glad you said big black bong there, Martha. I was going to please try and keep this at least like PG-16, unless maybe not PG. I don't think TSP TV could really pass as a PG-13 channel, but let's at least try and keep it from being Pornhub. We could go Cinemax at the best case scenario. And we did actually have, I don't know if any of you guys know, a couple of weeks ago at Canada Day, I did have a real live naked girl on the show. Yes, there was an actual real live naked girl during filming, although not on camera. She was just out of camera sight. I got to see the real live naked girl, but nonetheless, there was a real live naked girl on TSP TV, and maybe some of you guys might have always noticed I've even brought you bikini clad girls at the beach in the last few weeks. So do you remember once upon a time, boys, I said, hey, I'm going to be delivering you girls in bikinis on TSP TV. Tell me when I have not delivered. We may take a little while, but we do deliver in the end. And on that note, guys, I am going to say thank you for joining me tonight. Your pleasure and company has been, your company and interactions has been a pleasure. That's what I was trying to say. But no, that's fucked up. I was trying to say something nice on the outro. But we are going to wrap things up right now, guys. I'm pretty sure Baby P, I was going to say, is past the tip jar round enough. If you do want to help me out, please do so, guys. Things are a little bit on the desperate stage, or they were last week. I've had some generosity in the course of the last 24 hours that have certainly gone to alleviating that sense of desperation. But as I said, guys, there are a few things that I could possibly do with to replenish and top up to keep me comfortable for the foreseeable future. Fingers crossed, I might be back at work within a week or two, although I'm almost afraid to ask in case it's bad news. You know how it is. Sometimes no news is good news. So that is the hopes that I will be back at work. We will be able to get an income coming in, and not sure how much or that will be, but something coming in is certainly better than nothing. And it has been quite a difficult but not a traumatic last 4 months. I haven't had to go without most things other than cents and dollars. That's about the only thing that I have run out of, but everything else I've had that I've needed, I've managed to have on hand. So living by my examples, practicing what I preach, and as Jasper said earlier, I am walking the walk in terms of my preps and how I practice those preps. Anyway, guys, as I said, thank you very, very much. I am going to get a little bit of shut-eye tonight. I was out all night and only got a couple of hours sleep this morning, so maybe that is a little bit why I'm starting to brain fart and zone out, and probably why I do like to do these shows a little bit earlier than later in recent weeks. I've also been reduced to a natural sleep pattern. I'm now almost 2 months without taking a sleeping pill. I am falling asleep more naturally, maybe not necessarily early night, but I am falling asleep earlier and getting up earlier, and I'm enjoying plenty of sunshine, fresh air, and dare I say a little bit of exercise out and about on the thrift bike. So things, let's hopefully will start improving. We certainly don't want them to get any worse, but probably guessing they'll get worse before they get better. But let's not give up hope. So should we do a little thrift fan prayer to sign out? Something we haven't done for a while. We have gone over the 2-hour mark. Shadow Fox, hello. Being out in nature is good. It is good. Who are you, Shadow Fox, again? That name rings a bell. I'm pretty sure I've seen you before. Is this an alias or a different profile from one of our regular viewers? Shadow Fox is ringing some bells. Peace, love, and harmony to all. So you know what? Let's do a little thrift prayer just to sign out, because it has been quite some time since we've done a thrift fair. I know it's Shadow Fox, but I'm having a brain fart about Shadow Fox. So forgive me, Shadow Fox. Welcome back. Unfortunately, you have joined us as we are bringing things to a close. We've already had a couple of Gusset girls in the terms of Narfa? Who the fuck's Narfa? Martha and Kenny. They turned up a little bit late. Welcome, Shadow Fox. Glad you're here. Unfortunately, we are going to do a little thrift prayer just to wrap everything up tonight. And till next time, we're probably back on Tuesday night. Who knows? Might even do it tomorrow if I'm feeling frisky enough. But I doubt it. You've been missing in action. It's been a kind of strange 2 months, Shadow Fox. And as I said, I am having some brain farts. But welcome back. I'm just apologetic that we are kind of signing out. And yeah, Elmel. So we have seen a few faces, not as regularly in the last few weeks, and I haven't exactly been as regular as I once was, but never mind. We're trying to get back into routine and maybe a little bit more regularity here. But hugs and love to you, Shadow Fox. Anyway, guys, let's just take a little quiet moment. You do whatever you need to do. Cross your hands, kneel down. I mean, you don't have to do any of that stuff. You can just kind of sit where you are and just observe the fact that I am going to ask a few words of the Force. And you do know, guys, I am an atheist. I'm not a religious person. I don't think that it's wrong to believe in religion. I'm not telling you shouldn't believe in religion. I just pray to the Force because that is kind of what I'm praying to, and you can choose whatever the Force is to you. You can be whatever religion or belief pattern you have. Just insert that there, and I'm pretty sure you guys understand that I'm not trying to be offensive, or we're just trying to incorporate everybody in here, and as part of the being excellent to each other, we take one and all and accept one and all. So once again, mighty Force, wherever you are, whatever's going on with you, just want to let you know we are still here. We are still kind of operating and ticking by. We are very aware that you're still there. Maybe we've been a little bit caught up in our own immediate surroundings, and maybe our families, and maybe some anxieties and concerns on a domestic level have prevented us from maybe congregating regularly and maybe asking for your guidance and continued protection, and to bask us in light in these extremely dark times. As always, we ask the Force to watch over each and every one of us, particularly those that may be a little bit more vulnerable, maybe a little bit older, maybe a little bit more alone in the world. We ask that they get extra special protection, care and guidance, and make sure they don't go without any of the things that they need in order to keep them alive. And I ask the Force personally to thank and give special hope, love, and light to those that have shown kindness and support to me in these dark times, and made sure that I haven't gone without the things that I need. And I ask for you to continue to watch over these individuals, and they are angels that walk upon the earth and walk among us, to make sure that we do not stray too far into darkness. So no matter where the fam or the community are in the world, we know that the Force binds each and every one of us, and it keeps us together, and it keeps us, maybe even if we don't talk each and every day, we are connected, one and all, in the Thrift Fam community. And we know that the Force is there with us, and that we are one with the Force, and we walk with the Force, whoever that Force in our life may well be. And we thank you for your continued watchful guidance, and whatever else it is that you do for us, Force of almighty power. I'm sorry, I am brain farting a little bit, need to pee and could do with a smoke. So Force, thank you very much. Amen. Namaste. Allah Akbar. May the Force be with each and every one of us. Go forth and prosper. Amen, guys. So there you go. Shadow Fox, Elmel, Nancy, Becky, Pamplin, William Mason, Trip, Jasper, who am I missing? Martha, Anika, Darcy sings a lot, Maiden, Kenley, Kenley, there she is, beautiful soul. Sending infinite love and light to all and everyone. Love one another. Doves, hugs. Yeah, be excellent to each other, guys. It is dark times out there, Don't necessarily be mean and horrible to people that wear masks, because maybe they're not as awoken as us, maybe they're not as enlightened as us, and maybe they just are really afraid, and nobody truly deserves to live in fear, whether they wear a mask or not. So she was here earlier, Shadow Fox. Oh, that's who you are. I remember now. Sorry, Shadow Fox. You're Darcy's friend. She was here a little bit earlier, but I think she had some tuggies to give behind a dumpster. That's why she's not here anymore. I'm joking about that, don't we? Know Darcy knows we love her, and we love Darcy for allowing us to have a little bit of fun, not necessarily at our expense. We laugh with her, not at her. thanks guys, you've been an amazing crowd tonight. It's been fun hanging out with you all, and it's almost felt a little bit like the olden days. Not so much anxiety or fears, or dare I say supernatural influences that are maybe preventing the flow and natural progression of things. So guys, thanks, take care, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Hopefully we'll see you Tuesday for another live show. It doesn't necessarily mean we won't be seeing one between now and then, but don't rest or bet on that. We'll see you Tuesday, and hopefully there will be a video for you tomorrow to watch and enjoy. And if you haven't already checked it out, I did upload a video just this afternoon about the importance of prepping. A very good video, getting lots of comments so far, and actually the first video I've actually uploaded in 4K full HD, so please go check that video, give it some thumbs up, and why not share it to your social media? Don't be embarrassed about TSP. I'm not your dirty little secret. If I can come on these videos and show my ugly old boat race, and if I can run around on the beach half naked for your titillation, ladies, you can sure as hell share my videos to your social media pages. And before you sign out tonight, why not hit the like, the thumbs up button before you sign out. But that is it, guys. I am Robin Birds. There's always a gusset. Are you part of the WhatsApp group? Oh, Robin, your weed killer. Thank you very much. Robin actually did give me a little bag of her homegrown herbal plant yesterday. Marijuana weed. We're in Canada. Let's not wrap it out. Yeah, I know I'm your dirty little secret, some of you out there, and you know exactly who I'm talking to. But Robin, darling, I am wrapping this up tonight. Sorry that you did join us late. Do you got Discord, Robin? Maybe we could put the Discord link in, or I'll send it to you via Messenger or something. You can go and hang out with some of the guys out there. But we have wrapped this up. We did do a little prayer. So guys, as always, you know the score. Be excellent to each other. This was a shit video production. This was TSP TV. I'm the Thrift Store Prepper. We'll see you next time. Until then, guys, keep it thrifty. Oh wait, let me do something before we go. Oh, I don't know. No, that's just shit. Good night, guys. We will see you next time. Yeah, I wish you'd have caught us earlier too, Robin, but you can always watch the rerun or go and hang out with Nancy on Messenger. Take it easy, guys. We will see you next time.